a monster long jump, wasn't it?
Off by giving us kind of what you saw as the highlights, Wes.
Well, I have to say today was a field event day for the Red Raiders. We had some outstanding field events, and have to start off with Monet, in the long jump, 6.75 meters, 22.1, I believe, and change. I heard number one in the world right now, but just a monster jump, and really, really phenomenal there. And Kaylee Johnson had a big PR in the shot put. I think both Monet, of course, will be number one in NCAA, and I think Kaylee's throw is fourth or fifth now in the NCAA. We had Gabe Oladipo in the weight throw, another personal best, and Jacob Meckler, personal best. Bill Gatlin, even our little freshman in the throws, 48 feet, personal best. Virginia Curley in the long jump, personal best. And Kaylee even in the weight throw at personal best too. So is a Sydney Sapp, I believe, in the high jump, personal best, 5'10". So just really proud of our field events. They were coming along, and we knew that this meet we had a few more people competing in the field events than we did in the running. So really pleased with those marks.
I'm curious about it from the standpoint of Monet comes here from Bethune-Cookman, and Kaylee Johnson comes here from Michigan State. Sydney Sapp, was it Southern Miss? She's the one from Southern Miss?
She's from Wichita State.
Wichita State, okay. But can you address just the impact of all the help that you're getting from the transfer portal? It gets talked about a lot in football and basketball, other sports, but it looks like you're kind of taking advantage of it too now.
Yeah, we got caught. We had a lot of scholarships to give on the women, and then it got shut down in March. And so I'll have to say we did some pretty good Zoom calling, especially with those three to get them. But, you're having to recruit people by Zoom. But we took advantage of the transfer portal because those kids were there and they were looking for a good place to go. And I think they felt like this was a good fit for them.
I know you said last week that the people who had the big marks in times like Ruth and Courtney and Tacky, they had stayed here and really got in good training going into the season. How was it, for example, for Monet and for Kaylee and some of those people that you mentioned that showed up big today?
They did get to go home, and they went home for a while, but they got back, as early as they could. And I think you can tell who did something over the break. It's not necessarily as much they were here, but I think you can tell that they trained. And, these veterans, and that's the one thing we got with a little bit on the transfer portal, these veterans know what it takes at this level, and they've been there. And so I think that makes a huge difference in the maturity that they have. And but just really proud of their leadership and how they're responding.
Yeah. Could you, back on Monique Nichols for a moment, to go 22 feet, how did you feel about that? Obviously, you knew Ruth was big time. Did you know that Monique Nichols could be a big time competitor for you?
Yeah, we knew she had tremendous talent, and she needed to get in a program where she's around the Ruths every day and being in the weight room and seeing what those kids do. A little bit underdeveloped, but got really good speed and just really figuring out how to jump. And she triple jumped today, got second, went 41 something. She's just barely figuring that event out. And so she's just a good athlete, got good speed. And once she learns how to technically get better, she had several fouls, and I know she's trying to get that fixed. And but let me tell you, that's a monster jump, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And a follow-up on Kaylee Johnson, if I'm remembering correctly, I think she's won now 3 times. She's been in her two events each of the last 2 weeks. She's won, and so she's 3 out of 4. what's your expectation for her? What level could she contribute maybe on a Big 12 level?
Yeah, well, we had a great competition today between her and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got really good throwers, and they passed each other twice, her and the best girl from Oklahoma. So it was just a great competition to watch, and I'm so proud of how she competed and just how I see the confidence that she's building. She's having fun. She's fighting to win every week, and she's just getting better. And I love seeing her confidence.
I'll let Ronald jump in if you want to.
Coach, sort of, back-to-back events, obviously, a slow start for you guys, but, a lot of big performances in these back-to-back meets for you guys, those first 2 weekends. What does it feel like, to come out strong in these first 2 weekends for you guys?
Well, it's just so important to do with this COVID year we're having. And if you're ready to go, you need to do it. And just like that, I mean, those marks will definitely be in the national meet, and it just takes the pressure off, especially if you have a little sore leg or if you get COVID, whatever. It just hopefully gives us an opportunity to manage it much better and take a little bit of pressure off. But it's a little surprising that, for 9 months, 10 months, they didn't get to compete, and to see some of them come out the way they are. But I think it's just a testament to their fall training. And we had a really good fall. We were very fortunate there. These kids have bought into the culture that we're trying to create. And then they're a little more mature, being a transfer, some of them. They're a little more mature than the average freshman. So like I say, they know what it takes. And just real proud of how we've done so far.
Got a lot of new kiddos, but obviously some hangover as well. How much, do you feel like eagerness is sort of a part of just the performances that they're coming out here with, thinking that they were going to come back, defend the title last year, and then, sort of having it taken away from them and then coming out this year?
I think it matters. I think they are so anxious to get back and to prove, but to have some normalcy. But I think, they had an edge last year, and then we've got a bunch of new kids that are coming into this culture, and they're wanting that. That's why they came here, and they know how to compete. So it's just, I can't wait to see how we're going to do over the next month.
And then sort of, looking forward, what do you sort of go from here? Obviously, you got so many kids who are coming out with those strong performances. It's just a matter of, continuing to do that for, sort of all of the kids, just based on what you sort of touched on there. You never know, when a meet could be canceled or anything like that. So is it just best to, if you can go out there, go ahead, get your high performance, and then sort of play it from there?
No, I mean, they may not get a better jump or a better a mark before we go to the national meet, but that'll be okay. I think they will. I think, what you are seeing some outstanding jumps, but I think they're all going to have better ones before we get through to March. We're just getting these kids started. It's just a really good group that wants to be great and to do some great things. And so it's just a fun group right now.
Coach, I know you kind of alluded to it before, but with the way that COVID's kind of affected workouts and stuff, how much had some of these athletes been able to work out to kind of prepare themselves for these meets? And how have you felt that they've performed in these first 2 meets, considering that some may have had a long layoff or maybe some didn't have that typical training that you were so used to?
Yeah, and that's a very good question. Kaylee was one that got, I know, twice close contact. And so she had to work out on her own and couldn't be around the group during that time. So, it's just a testament to her of how she stayed focused. She didn't let it ruin her. She stayed positive and knew and just staying at it. Like I say, she's just figuring it out. So she's just getting better and better.
Wes, did Sydney Sapp, is she getting to train with Zaria?
Yes, Zaria is a volunteer coach, and Zaria is here in practice every day. And so, yes, that makes a big difference. And Sydney's, like I say, this was a big, she's jumped 5'10" before, but she hasn't looked as good as she did today. And I just felt like she's figuring some things out and continuing to. Coach Thomas is changing a lot on her, and that takes time on a technical event. But, she saw today, hopefully, the greatest thing, I want these kids to build confidence. I want them to know they can do this. And I think as you look at Kaylee and you look at Monet and then you look at Sydney, I mean, they're building confidence, and that's the you can throw me away and the coaches away. When those kids get confidence, they're can do great things.
Yeah. What did you think of Vilka today and Jalen Seals? They're opening up.
Yeah, I was real pleased with Marco. First, he's hardly ever even run on an indoor track. I think he's run one other time back in Peru somewhere. And so I was real pleased with his 110. He ran to win. He's a competitor. I thought it was a real solid effort. And then Jalen, he was trying really hard. I think he might have been trying a little too hard. He got a 24-foot jump, but had some fouls that really were bigger. He just needs to compete, and I think that's going to be fun for him over the next month.
Anything else stick out in your mind today?
No, I was real pleased. On the running side, Lexi Price did a really good job, had big personal best there, first meet in the 600. Thought she looked really solid. And but, we had a lot of runners that didn't run today, and we'll have more. We have a really good meet next week. So I'm looking forward to getting more of the runners back and seeing how we keep progressing there, and be a huge next Friday and Saturday. It's a 2-day meet. So, going to be some Big 12 teams along with some SEC teams and some Pac-12 teams. So it's going to be a fun meet.
All good?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
That'll do it for me. Thanks, Wes.
Next up, we'll have Monique Nichols. Monet?
Paying off, didn't it?
All right. Questions for Monet Nichols, new world leader in long jump.
Monet, last week we asked Ruth what she thought when she saw 46 feet on the triple jump. What did you think when you saw 22 feet on your long jump?
I was just like, no way. It was very crazy to me, and I had chills. My hair was standing up. I still can't believe it right now.
I guess, what does that do for you? I know you've been a very high level athlete before with a good resume, but to kind of set a new PR, what does that do for your confidence or for your outlook for yourself?
I can't even tell you. I just know I can do a lot better. There's a lot of things that I can change to get a further mark. Probably even 23 one day.
Can you tell us what kind of the process with the success you had at Bethune-Cookman? What made you decide to leave, and then what was the process like in deciding where to transfer to and choosing Texas Tech?
Well, it was kind of hard for me to leave Cookman because I really did love the team. I love the culture. I love the coaches, like everything about Cookman, but it just felt time. I just felt like it was a need to like actually go and get, I want to say better training, but like a better facility and better resources. And I went into the portal pretty late, so a lot of schools didn't have no money to like actually give me like a full ride. And Texas Tech did, and then also one of my former athlete, not athlete but teammate, she went to Texas Tech, and I saw her jump and actually improve a lot. Her name's Tiara, and I was talking to her and asking her about the program, and I really just liked what she was saying, so I decided to come to Texas Tech.
And I assume you had to commit and sign here without ever having taken a trip here. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So what was that like to kind of take that leap of faith, so to speak?
It was crazy because actually it wasn't super crazy because I did the same thing for Cookman. My senior in high school, they was like basically the only one that was reaching out to me. So I was just like, okay, well, I can just go to Cookman. So it was basically like the same thing. I just knew they had what I needed, and I just took the leap of faith for real.
How many Zoom calls did you do with Coach Kitley or Coach Thomas or Texas Tech people?
Zoom calls.
Uh-huh.
I think we only did one. I think I only did
Okay.
one Zoom call, and I was just on the phone with Coach Thomas a lot of the time. But the Zoom call was actually for my mother because she wanted me to stay in Florida, probably go to FSU, and yeah, it was really for my mother to like, have a sane mind to know like where I'm going and who I'm gonna be with. Because I was ready to go. I was gonna commit on the phone.
You talked about the better facility and better resources. What is it like to be able to compete in the Sports Performance Center and to do so basically every weekend of the indoor season?
Like, it's very crazy to me. That's like one of the another thing that kind of decided where I wanted to go because I knew I wanted to go to an indoor track because I'll be able to compete. I love the facility; it's very good. The runway is a hollow runway, which that's what I was looking for too. Like, I just can't imagine it for real. Coming from a small school, coming here, seeing all the things that you can do and ask for, and actually getting it is crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how did they show you like the Sports Performance Center and the resources that were available? Were they able to show you video of where you would be
Yeah,
training and competing?
they sent me a lot of videos. They sent me the video of the weight room, the indoor track, the outdoor track. Um, they showed me the cash center, which is like where the meals are prepped for us, and everything was just aligned. Like I loved it. I loved looking at it. Loved seeing it. I was just excited to come.
Yeah. So have you changed your mother's mind? Changed your mom's mind that it was okay for you to come this far from home?
Yeah, I changed her mind for sure. Because she really wanted me to stay in Florida so bad. And I was like, Mom, if I stay in Florida, I don't know if I'll progress as much as I go to Texas Tech. So she's super happy right now.
So you're from Lakeland, is that correct?
No, I'm actually from Winter Haven. That's like 15, 20 minutes away from Lakeland. I'm from Winter
Yeah.
Haven.
So was your mother, was she watching online today, or have you talked to her since you had your big jump?
Yeah, I talked to her plenty of times. She called me like 3, 4 times just to talk about the jump. But she was watching, I think, on ESPN, and then she was also watching on her phone to actually like get the jumps faster.
I see. Yeah.
Just one quick question from me. I know obviously the result was good for you, but how difficult has it been to kind of train under the COVID precautions, and how satisfying or validating is it to know that you and your teammates have been able to kind of make these marks this early?
But with the COVID, the only big difference is the 6 feet and then wearing a mask during practice, which is crazy because sometimes I can't breathe and sometimes it gets too hot. But you just gotta acclimate, give it your all. I don't feel like it's been too difficult, but it hasn't been easy too. It hasn't been the easiest.
All good?
Ha- What is it like, or how much has it helped you being able to train with uh, other women that also are really high level jumpers, like Ruth, for example,
Um,
and up that you'll have multiple people with a lot of ability.
I mean, I think it's pretty much the same because I at Cookman, I wasn't jumping against the girls. I was jumping against the guys. So it's been the same. It feels a lot better because to hear her say like "Good job, Mo," or like encouraging me to like get after it, like an actual female doing that, it feels a lot better. But I wouldn't say is a big change for me.
Yeah. I think that'll pretty well take care of me.
All right, thank
All good.
you.
Carlos, Ronald?
Thanks, Monet. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Monet.
Thanks, Monet. Kaylee? We will have Kaylee Johnson, number 3 in the country in the shot put right now. Number 4. Questions for Kaylee?
Kelly, if I'm remembering correctly, you've entered 2 of the throws each of the first 2 meets and finished first place in 3 of those 4
Yes.
events. How nice is it, I guess, to get off to that kind of start, particularly when you're at a new school?
It's a great confidence booster. You know, just working through some kinks each week and trying to get better each week is definitely you know, getting those first place finishes. It's just confidence boosters.
Coach Kitley mentioned that you had to sit out for a while, but you got sidelined by close contact. He said twice.
Twice, yeah.
How much? So what was that like? Is that like 2 weeks at a time then that you had to be away from everyone?
2 14-day quarantines.
Yeah. When did that happen, and how did you? How were you able to continue to train during that time?
So I think one happened in September and then one happened in October, if I'm correct. And I would just pick a time to go to the outdoor and just do some drills and work on what Coach Felkins was telling me about in practice each day when I was able to work with him. And just trying to get those mental reps and just get the same reps that I would get if I was with, you know, everybody else in practice.
So you said you did that outdoors. You did that outdoors, you said then?
Yep, at our outdoor facility.
Yep. I was curious also, sort of like I asked Monet, what was your process in deciding to leave your previous school, and then what was the process like in choosing Texas Tech, and what was it that attracted you here?
So I graduated last spring from Michigan State, and it was just Corona was such a crazy time. COVID was such a crazy time, and it was just like something in me was like, just see what other opportunities are out there. I loved Michigan State. I love my friends and social life and the track team. I still have friends on the team today, but something in me just told me, see what else is out there. Try to get a new experience. You graduated. You know you have your degree. And yeah, so I just entered the portal. My family was very scared about it. They're like, you know, I'm from Michigan, so I stayed in Michigan, you know, my whole life. But they were supportive of my decision, and I did it. And when Coach Kitley reached out to me, I actually never really heard of Texas Tech, but it was very comfortable when we all got on Zoom, and my family was really impressed with Coach Thomas and his virtual tour that he gave us. And everything like that. So it just kind of felt like home, and it was just like, if you're gonna go for it, go across the country and just do your thing. So.
And I asked, Monet said one of the things that obviously she was attracted to was the more facilities and resources here than what she was accustomed to at her previous school. Of course, you came from a big state university, but how does the Sports Performance Center and the resources you have here kind of compare to Michigan State?
These facilities and different stuff like that is definitely, you know, at another level. Being able to practice in this indoor facility, we're able to practice all the events, which is something that we weren't able to do at Michigan State. We would be able to practice discus outdoor when it was warm, but when we went inside, we didn't have the same type of facility structure where we could get those reps in to prepare for outdoor season. So, you know, it's just a lot more that we have here to take advantage of. And things like nutrition and stuff like that has also been like a whole nother level of just stuff that we have to support us. So it's been good.
Yeah. What is it like to be able to train and compete virtually every weekend during the indoor season? at home, so to speak? How much do you think that can help your development?
I think it helps a lot because we know this facility, we know what the ring feels like, we know what the environment feels like. We come here every day for practice. So for me, it's comfortability, and I've really been able to, that nervousness you get when you walk into somewhere that's not familiar. We haven't really, for me, I haven't had that because I come here every day. So I think, and being able to go home to our own beds and not have to deal with, traveling and masks and buses and airplanes and everything. I think that's been great for us because we've been able to just do our thing like we do in practice.
You mentioned you graduated. What did you get your degree in at MSU?
I got my bachelor's in advertising management.
I see. And just double checking, I assume, so you had to commit and sign here without taking any visit. You basically were locked in before you'd ever come to Lubbock, Texas, correct?
Yes. I
Yeah.
just got a virtual tour. It was everything virtual. I don't even think planes or anything were open. Flights were open back then. So I committed in June. So
Yeah. So what would you say your experience here has been like so far?
oh, it's been great. Everyone was very welcoming and open to me being a new person on the team. And even though it was, far away from home, I still had the support of the coach, Coach Kitley, and all the coaching staff and Coach Felkins and my teammates. So that definitely made the transition a lot smoother.
Yeah.
All good?
I think we're good.
All right. Thanks, Kaylee.
Thanks.
We got one more. We'll have
Thank you.
Oladipo, new, again, I guess, world school record holder in the weight throw. So, more questions for Gabe, real quick.
Oh, I can take. Oh, okay.
Hey, Gabe, I guess, how would you say your day went today, your competition?
It was a decent day. Wasn't feeling the freshest coming into the competition, but the things we've been working on in practice have starting to show a little bit more, and we're getting more consistent. So you can't really complain about that.
Right. And you went through 72 feet, if I remember correctly, and get another school record.
Yes, sir.
Just kind of trying to go up a little bit each week. Is that the idea?
Exactly. Just get a little better every week.
What would you like to do? What would you like your competition schedule to be? What have y'all talked about in terms of how much you train versus how much you actually compete on the weekends?
Right. So this season's obviously a lot different because of COVID and things of that nature. There's obviously a lot of good throwers in the U.S., so nothing's guaranteed, no matter how good of a mark you have, almost. But the difference this year is where I may usually want to take a week off. You never know what things are going to look like because you may be a close contact or, God forbid, catch COVID or anything like that. Nothing's guaranteed. So we're pretty much playing it by ear and then just going from there and just trying to get the most we can out of every week.
I was trying to think I don't have it in front of me right now, but I think you should be sitting pretty high in the weight throw, if I remember correctly, in the NCAA rankings. How do you feel about?
I feel pretty good about that. What's that?
How do you feel about your chances of qualifying for the NCAA indoor in both of those events?
Number 4. Okay. I feel pretty confident about it. What I threw last week, I threw a whole foot farther than I had thrown last year and qualified. So I was confident about qualifying last week, but now being over 22 meters, I believe would actually solidify it. I can't remember a year where 22 meters hasn't made it to the big meet. So I'm feeling pretty good about that and just looking to improve each week and hopefully peak at the right time by the time nationals rolls around.
Yeah. So when you had your big throw today, did it kind of feel good out of your hands, so to speak?
It did and it didn't. Like I said before, I didn't have all the pop and energy that I would usually have coming into the competition. But like I said, Coach and I have been working really hard about hitting the right positions, and my mechanics in the weight needed a lot of work. So I knew that we were building the entire series, and that I was getting close to hitting a big throw. And today was just a little PR, but you're always happy with that at the end of the day. But going back to your question, I knew it was going to be an improvement on what I had already thrown, but I didn't know how far exactly it was going to go. Just blessed to be able to finally break that 22 meters, because from then on, you never know where you can go.
Right. So is that a first time to throw 22 meters?
Yes, sir, it is.
No. I think that should pretty well take care of me unless
Carlos, Ronald? All good? All right.
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks, Gabe.
Thanks, Gabe.
All right, guys. I'll put this on YouTube here shortly, and I'll include a link to it with my release today. But outside of that, if y'all need anything, just let me know.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks,
Thanks,
Rob.
Jeremy.
Talk to y'all later.